Hello, welcome to Crypto with Kash podcast, episode number 14, and we are back from the dead or the crypto graveyard or from somewhere where we've been hiding. Hello, Kash, how are you?
I'm all good, thank you. How are you?
I'm okay. My name's Duncan, I should say, and I'm joined by Kashaya Abbasi, the leader of the Crypto with Kash newsletter, a fortnightly cryptocurrency service where you recommend cryptocurrencies to our happy members. In case this is the first time anyone listening, we've had a bit of a hiatus for a couple of weeks because we had a workshop event where you walked people through a one of your crypto picks and your strategy, and generally just a bit busy. But we are back today and raring to talk about some stuff. First of all, Kash, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm all good. Not too bad at all. I've had to close the curtains even though it's great weather outside because then it just focuses on the light and everything else goes dark. But it's really nice weather out today.
Yeah, we'll just pretend we're not recording this at 4 a.m. It's fine.
Yeah.
Have you been up to much?
Not too much. Just been trying to go to the gym as much as possible. Try to keep it consistent. And that's it really. What about yourself?
What have I been doing? I hung out with my nieces today.
Mm-hmm.
They're definitely not interested in cryptocurrency. They're interested
Not
yet. No, they're interested in breadsticks and watching Peppa Pig, which was pretty fun.
Okay, sounds good.
So we got 3 topics today to talk about. Let me just pull them up. So number 1 is the effects of the war in Ukraine on crypto. Number 2 is a recent upturn in the crypto markets. So we've seen a bit of an uptick from where the markets were, say, last week or the week before. And the third one is something called Apecoin and their silly NFTs. I should say that these topics have been suggested by Josh Allen, our overlord. So I have read some headlines about Apecoin, but I'm not totally up. I read that it was a scam, but I have no...
I mean, there are scams out there, but Apecoin itself is not necessarily a scam.
It's not one. Okay. So what would you like to start with?
Let's go with the Russia-Ukraine crisis at the moment.
Okay. So what are your general sort of... So if we try and sort of frame the conversation around what's happening in cryptocurrency, because like at the end of the day, this is a crypto podcast. But so what have you seen the impact of what's happening in Ukraine on the crypto markets? And also there's been quite a lot of headlines about Ukraine receiving like aid through cryptocurrencies and things like that. So if we just get your general thoughts on what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, of course, this war situation is terrible, and I hope it ends as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Focusing on the market side of things, as soon as the military operation started, we saw that the markets tanked because there's a whole sort of there's more uncertainty in the markets because they don't know where it's going to go, whether it's going to lead to a world war, which some people are suggesting has already started. Other people are arguing that it's going to be contained within Ukraine. Both sides are arguing for their national interest sort of thing, but it's a difficult situation. It's not resolved yet. Hopefully it does get resolved as soon as possible, but the initial reaction of the market was sell off. People were selling off, trying to, minimize their risks. The S&P 500, which, has been going up consistently since the 1970s, maybe even further actually, but, hasn't been able to make a new high in months. Before the conflict, it was hitting new all-time highs almost daily.
Yeah, for like a year after the crash in 2020, I guess, when COVID was announced. And it was on a rally since then.
Exactly, yeah. So the global markets have been hit. Stocks have been affected as well. Like I think Facebook was down 50-60%, something crazy. PayPal's down 40-50% as well. But we are seeing some recovery. Actually, right now, the S&P 500 is rallying. It's green for the day, which is good to see. BTC is green for the day as well. Ethereum as well, approaching $3,000, which is good to see. Bitcoin is back above the 41,600 level that we mentioned at the time of recording, that is, which is of course good. It needs to remain there and consolidate for a few days before we can see some higher highs.
So I guess it makes sense if, when the world is uncertain, people are moving their assets out of uncertain markets. I guess like stocks are a volatile asset, crypto much more volatile asset.
Yeah.
And also, I guess interest rates went up yesterday, but that doesn't seem to have had an impact on the crypto markets or stocks.
Yeah, it was largely priced in. I mean, right after the news came out, there was a sell-off, but it's gone back up since then, which is good to see. It was largely priced in. There was only a risk of it being the hikes were meant to be. There were discussions that it could be 0.5%, but no, they stuck to their guns, and now the markets are back up again.
Yeah, just for anyone that doesn't know, and I always thought the relationship between interest rates and sort of stocks was like, if you've got higher interest rates, generally people would move their money into, say, bonds or whatever, to have it in a safer asset that has decent yields. And then because the yields were so low, people were putting more and more money into higher risk assets just to try and generate a return to beat inflation or make some money. That's not always the case. There's been periods of time where you've had high interest rates and high stock market investment as well. But yeah, so it's like a relationship that sometimes it works like that, sometimes it doesn't. But
yeah, but this event was largely priced in already.
Yeah.
There may be some more over the year, but this one in particular was priced in. Everyone was expecting it. We've had essentially 2 years of up only. Everything's been going up. You could close your eyes and throw a dart on a stock or crypto and it would go up. But now, we're seeing a shift, and we are seeing that the markets are recovering again, and hopefully we can see it hitting new highs again later this year.
Yeah, I think you said this in the workshop, but if you're investing in cryptos, in the crypto market, because it's going up, when it starts going down, your investment thesis is like null and void because it's not doing. But if you're investing in coins you've researched, like you do with the Crypto with Kash, your investment thesis hasn't changed. It doesn't mean, because the market or a price of a coin is coming down, it doesn't mean that coin is suddenly rubbish.
Yeah, exactly. Short-term price fluctuations don't alter our long-term thesis.
Yeah, so those 20-page or whatever write-ups you do on each coin aren't just for show. They're kind of but yeah,
it's something I always try to stress to people, that this Crypto with Kash service, we are focused on the long term. So yes, it's good to keep up with day-to-day news and events, but our focus is on the long term because we see these coins trading much higher in the long term. Yeah.
And just to go back to Ukraine, so some of the headlines I've seen is about crypto donations to. So I guess there's two sides to this. There was some headlines about the amount of money that had been donated through crypto, and apparently Ukraine has legalized it as a currency. But I just sort of glanced at those headlines, and the other side of it was whether sort of sanctioned rich Russian people were moving some of their assets into the crypto space. I don't know whether that was actually happening. I mean, do you know any more about those two things? Or?
Yeah, so directly after the military operation was announced on February 24th, we saw huge volume coming in from BTC and ruble pairs on most exchanges, if not all exchanges. But I don't think people have been, flocking to crypto as much as people would have you believe online. Yes, there was an increase in volume, but I don't think Russian oligarchs are necessarily going to start buying off Bitcoin, especially when a lot of exchanges can simply, if the government forces them to, can ban or seize these assets used by a Russian oligarch. So yes, we saw some of it happening, but I don't think it's like a widespread sort of incident.
Yeah, because Bitcoin's essentially very transparent, especially if you're having to move money in from the traditional financial space, then they can just track every Bitcoin transaction you make.
Yeah.
And I guess a lot of the money is in assets, like hard assets, like planes and property.
Yeah, and it's very interesting because, as you mentioned, the Ukrainian government actively were promoting crypto donations through their Twitter pages and social media accounts. And last I checked, they had raised over $100 million, which is huge.
Yeah.
We're not exactly sure what they're going to do with the money. I heard that they started buying bulletproof vests, if I'm not mistaken. But apart from that, I'm not sure exactly what the money is going to be used for, but whether it's going to be used to fund the military or humanitarian sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there seems to be I don't know about donating crypto, but there seems to be different sort of like places you can donate to, which specifically like don't sort of fund military action if you don't feel good about that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So just to go back to you kind of touched already on like the recent uptick, if we can call it that.
Yeah.
Like Bitcoin, how low did Bitcoin get recently? Like sort of 38 or lower?
Looking at the check, it went down to around 34.
Right. Okay.
And now at the time of recording is over 41,800.
Sure. And what are your sort of, I know that you can't really predict the future, but what are your sort of feelings about the market in general at the moment?
There's the way it works is whenever there's a positive development in the Russia-Ukraine crisis, the market reacts immediately. So as soon as negotiations start, there are some positive headlines, possible discussions about there being a ceasefire, the market rallies up straight away. But then after the meetings are over, they say, oh, no, we're going to follow with our follow on from what we want to, essentially the objectives. Both sides are saying we're not going to stop unless we meet our objectives. And then the market, crashes again because people realize that, the conflict is not over. There's no way of telling whether this conflict will be ended soon or whether it's going to continue for weeks and months, like many other conflicts we've seen in the past.
So I guess it's very reactive, and it's, even though that's quite a jump from 34 to 41, it's quite narrow for crypto, I guess. We're not talking about seeing Bitcoin go back above 60 unless something maybe big happens.
Exactly.
A big change happens geopolitically, I guess.
I mean, generally speaking, looking at price action for Bitcoin throughout the year, history shows that in April it generally does have a good year. Again, previous events are not indicative of future events, but there is some hope to that. Maybe next month we'll see some more green price action.
Yeah, because like you said, a lot of this is cyclical for markets anyway, because you can't just have a market that goes up in a long green line. There are recessions, there are pullbacks and stuff, I guess. Number 3 on our topic list today is Apecoin and Ape NFTs. I saw something on Reddit about it, but I really have no idea what it is. So what is happening? Can you tell us?
Yeah, so this Apecoin is a coin created by the founders of Bored Apes, Bored Ape Yacht Club, which is one of the top NFTs. It's essentially a cartoon ape with different hairstyles, different facial features.
Right.
It's an NFT collection that's gone viral. I know Eminem bought one for $400,000. Brazilian footballer Neymar bought one for $200,000-$300,000. I think Paris Hilton has one. Mark Cuban has one.
Did they?
More celebrities.
Were the celebrities kind of part of a marketing campaign? Were the people that were launching the NFTs?
That's a good question, because there definitely was. I saw that this company was essentially well, there were reports that they were paying celebrities to use a certain platform to buy the NFTs.
Right.
So maybe they were getting paid to purchase them and being given the apes, the bored apes for free. It's very difficult to tell. Yes, you can see the transactions on the blockchain, but you can. It's very difficult to say whether they've been paid to off the blockchain to promote these.
Or even if like they sort of guaranteed like, we're going to invest this much in marketing, so we can sort of almost guarantee that the NFTs are going to be at a higher value, at least for the following months or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess the fact that we're talking about this right now is testament to their marketing working.
Yeah, we need to take some tips out of their book for Crypto with Kash.
Yeah, they've done very well. I think they were recently valued at over $4-5 billion, which is crazy for a project that essentially came out a year ago, if not 2 years ago.
And is that the coin that's valued at that?
Yeah, so
or the NFTs?
No, the board NFT. So there's a floor price. I think there's 10,000 different variations, and essentially the NFT itself is worth around $5 billion. The project
$5 billion,
yeah.
What, as in, and how many? And there's 10,000 different.
There's around 10,000 different ones, and the floor price
is
around 200 grand.
Right. Okay. And how does somebody set the floor price?
So they, if I'm not mistaken, they actually raised some money recently, and the project, the founders, the company, I think it's Yuga Labs. It was recently valued at $5 billion, and this is a company that's come out of nowhere, essentially.
Yeah.
They recently launched this Apecoin, which is essentially a governance token for the whole ecosystem. So essentially, by holding the coins, you can decide what direction, what partnerships the project actually they make.
Right. Okay. And is it the kind of governance where it's basically like a poll, rather than, because some like governance in crypto, like something literally can't happen with a crypto project, a protocol, unless a certain governance threshold is reached. Like
essentially
it won't allow you
give you voting rights.
Yeah. Okay. But is it still that company that then says, okay, we choose to listen or not to listen?
It depends. I think it depends what aspects of the project they give to token holders.
Right. Okay.
Different projects have different levels of allowing the public to decide, or token holders to decide the direction of the company.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about this Apecoin cryptocurrency is that it was airdropped to the token holders. So essentially, by holding onto the tokens, the NFT, sorry, you would be airdropped these tokens for free.
Right. Okay.
I know a couple of these large owners. So one of the there's a person on Twitter who owned over 100 of these, the Bored Ape NFTs. The airdrop for him was worth over $19 million. And there was another one who had over 60 of these NFTs, and the airdrop was worth like $12 million for them.
So this, I'm guessing, like the average person is completely priced out of owning an ape NFT by now. Yeah.
Yeah. At launch, it was 0.08 Ethereum, which at the time was around maybe $200-300. So if you've held on from the launch until now, then of course you've done very well.
Yeah.
And so on top of holding an NFT, which has gone up in like drastically in value, you also get this airdrop, which is now worth tens or if not hundreds of thousands as well.
Yeah. So it's not a scam coin, it's just another project that's and the NFTs.
No, it's not a scam. But interestingly enough, if you Google Apecoin, at least on my computer, the first link that comes up on Google is a scam link. It's someone who's paid to have their website shown right at the top, and it's a complete scam.
That's the same with Anchor Protocol. Like I keep reading on the Reddit forums, like people have, like there was a guy who posted the other day who had lost money because he clicked on the first link on Google paid ad and it was a scam. You think, Google is not doing a good job at sort of
not at all. There's loads of different scams on here actually. One thing I'd recommend is when you do you do a Google search for something related to crypto, do not click on any links that have been advertised.
Yeah, you usually say like either go through the verified Twitter account or bookmark
Exactly. Yeah.
website pages you know are legit. And yeah, and also something you've been giving advice in the week because people received email from Binance that just looked dodgy.
Yeah.
Turns out it's not dodgy. It's just them. But yeah, you gave some great advice.
It was like
to
a
the
game
members.
where the last person to press the button wins a
Yeah,
Bitcoin, which sounds very familiar because there's loads of these scams going around. But this one in particular turned out to be legit. But I always implore people not to click on links through their emails. Instead, go through the app itself, go in your notifications and see what you have there. Avoid clicking on any links because there are going to be people who are trying to take advantage of, Binance doing this sort of program.
yeah, you could just send the same email or similar
Exactly.
looking
Yeah.
email.
So avoid clicking on any links through emails.
Yeah, I was going to ask you because I've got an idea. Like, what is the state? Just going back to Apecoin and NFTs in general, what is the state of the NFT markets during this crypto crash?
Yeah, that's a good question. So there are indexes that show interest in NFTs have fallen. I mean, even if you go on Google Trends right now, it peaked around January, and interest in NFTs have dropped around 50-60% now. But the indexes are showing signs of recovery as well, in line with the wider markets.
Right. Okay.
So they've been doing generally well. It's kind of difficult to measure it exactly because they don't have the same sort of liquidity.
Yeah.
It's a one-on-one exchange that you're making as opposed to trading with hundreds of millions of people around the world. With NFTs, you have to find one direct buyer on the other side.
Yeah, I guess I'm curious how NFTs are used in the future because right now it sounds like it's kind of mirroring the broader market, but whether it becomes something like a safe asset or something, or a very long-term asset, or like something that
I think it's definitely here to
or...
stay. Maybe not necessarily with the projects that are popular now. A lot of these projects will go to zero inevitably, but I think NFTs as a concept, as a technology, are here to stay. NFT have been added and integrated into Twitter now, so you can change your profile picture to an NFT and you can verify it on the blockchain, and this is integrated into Twitter itself. I think they are being added to Instagram soon as well, which is huge. I'm not exactly sure when that will come up. They haven't announced a date for it, but that will definitely be coming out soon. It'll be interesting to see what people's responses to that are because there's mixed opinions when it comes to NFTs. One side believe that they're complete scams and they're destroying the earth because of the environmental impact of mining, and the other side believe that the future of everything will one day be an NFT. I think Mark Zuckerberg recently said that he believes the metaverse economy is going to be as large as the real life economy one day, and NFTs are going to be, a crucial aspect of this. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, I think we'll finish in a minute, but I just wanted to. It's quite a lot of the stuff that's going on in crypto and NFTs. It's very. Sorry, I'm trying to say, like, on the one side you have NFTs. You've got like there's one of the. It's very sort of like ownership centric and capitalistic, I guess. This is a digital representation of ownership. And then you have like this open source nature of crypto that's like, here's the code for Bitcoin. Anyone can go and set up a new Bitcoin, call it something different. It's very accessible and open, and like nobody owns this. Like, so it's almost like this like these two different worlds. Like, I just find it interesting. Like, I
agree with you there. There therefore isn't consensus within the crypto community. There are sides, like for example, there are Bitcoin maximalists who believe that everything other than Bitcoin is a scam.
Yeah,
They believe even
I've
Ethereum is
seen
a
them.
scam, despite Ethereum, being the platform which has perhaps popularized crypto in many ways. A lot of these coins we see going viral, like Dogecoin, for example, or Shiba Inu, and a lot of these other projects which are more popular that nowadays are because of Ethereum. If Ethereum didn't exist, then we perhaps wouldn't see all these meme coins.
Well, it's also introduced so many different use cases for cryptocurrency, in terms of, I mean, there's lots of downsides and stuff, but like in terms of generating interest or all kinds of things that Bitcoin, I mean, it sounds like it might be able to do some of that stuff in the future with different layers like Ethereum is, but Ethereum made that a reality much quicker.
And interestingly enough, Vitalik Buterin, who is the co-founder of Ethereum, has actually been featured on Time, on the front cover of Time, for the next article that goes out.
And Satoshi hasn't. So.
Yeah, for the next edition that goes out, and Satoshi hasn't.
Not yet, anyway.
So yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your time today, Kash.
Thank you very much.
And we'll try and get back into a regular routine of doing this weekly. And thank you for everyone that's listened. And if you would like more information about the Crypto with Kash newsletter service, well, there'll be a link under this video. And if you want to ask us any questions, you can pop them under, you can email us. I don't have an email to give you, or you can put comments in the YouTube video, or send us questions by carrier pigeon. And we'd appreciate it if you like, subscribe. I've already said comment, send Kash flowers, send him some big bright purple curtains.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Yeah, a different set of curtains for each episode going forward. Okay.
There we go.
Again, thank you for your time, Kash, and thank you everyone for listening.
Take care. Thank you.
Yeah, you too. Cheers.
Bye.